I'm going to be making some nice, if I can get my camera working right. Oh, you touchy thing, you. What the heck is going on here? Easy, easy. Oh, hey. Right, that's better. So, today we're going to be making some beautiful sausage rolls. Or at least that's the plan. I don't know what's going on lately, but I keep having problems with my internet. My phones will not. My phone, my tablet, they don't want to connect to the internet. Yep, what's going on here? My tablet doesn't want to connect. Bizarre. Very bizarre. Yeah, that's a little bit weird, that. But, she be what she be. I can't do a lot about it. So, right, I'll see if I can get this tablet working. Come on, stop being a sack of something that's in a sack. Well, I don't know. Technology. Yes, I would love to have a nice 3D printer. No, sorry, at the 3D engraver and machine, whatever. Right then, guys. So today, as I say, I'm trying to see what I look like here. I'm trying to make some sausage rolls. Now, I actually can't remember ever making sausage rolls. I don't think I've ever made sausage rolls before. So, hey Lenny, I won't do that at all. I'm allergic to peanuts. If you want to kill me on camera, I want at least 1 million so that my son is cared for, okay? Straight out of the kitchen. Straight out of the kitchen, buddy. I have several of these shirts. I'll go and get you the other one. Right, there you go. There's a different one for you. See, that remark straight out of the KKK is very offensive. I'm not a racist person, never have been. I have friends from many different colours, countries and nationality, whatever you want to call people. I say, that's just sheer stupidity there. But for me, today it's all about sausage roll, which I've not made for a long time. Well, actually, I think I made once when I was about 10 with me mum. Now, it's on here, if I can get it to go. Thank you. Make sure that way. Yep. Just so I know remember how this thing works. But thank you for the comments anyway and checking in. I'm definitely not straight out the KKK, that's for sure. But that is a very disrespectful comment. I'm old, I've got a bald head, so it's easier to cut it and keep short. Okay? To be honest, a comment like that speaks more about your views. Well, I'm just going to start getting my ingredients ready. I've got a stick of celery. I've got a bit of onion. Oh, very nice, Miss Jodie. Homemade soup. What type? What type is it? I made the last couple of weeks. I made a homemade tomato and pepper roasted in the oven, and then I made a thick country vegetable, and then I made a nice thick, well, to call it farmhouse vegetable, and then I made a chicken and vegetable. And soup is definitely that comfort food. So I'm just throwing some onion, garlic. I'm just chopping them down a bit so it's less work for the machine to do. So I'm just going to throw them in there. Vegetable, oh yes. Yeah, doing the washing up afterwards is a bit of a pain. I'll completely admit that one. When you do all of this sort of stuff by yourself, some days I'll have like a pasta day, or I'll just be making pies and pastries all day. And by the time you get to the end of that one, I mean, even I was making cookies and scone, and it's just like, oh, I've got all these dishes and everything's all gummed up. But at the end of the day, if you make, I mean, I have a big stock pot, about so big, and I make soup to fill that up. I put it all into these. I have a lot of containers like this, that sort of size, and I put the soup into there, and basically that goes into my big freeze, and you've got soup. You've got a nice summer soup. In the winter, you can do what you want. You can nice thick, chunky vegetable soups. I make a lot of chilies and pasta sauces as well. So let's have a little cut up with my vegetables. They need to be fine for this. Give that a little shake up. It's nice when if you've got a big family, and if you have a big family, then you can get them to help do the dishes afterwards. I always find that's a good way to go. But once I've made these, I've got a 4-hour drive, and I'm going to go and visit friends, and that's who these are for. I mean, most of the stuff I make, I give away. Anything else to chop? No, that's good. I can take that out of there. Now, what I want to try and do is get this out of here, but leave that moisture behind. So I will just use a spoon. I mean, you can see, you know what, I'm going to sit this to one side, just let it just drain down that little bit. And I'll concentrate on the next part. Just have a little drink of water. So where are you at, Miss Jodie? I'm thinking possibly you're in the US. Well, you got a Christmas tree and you got a cat. I was hoping to see some cooking videos there. But just spilt my soy sauce, my Worcestershire sauce everywhere. Some days these things happen. Let's just soak that up. So anyway, as I was saying, I've got some nice Italian or mild Italian. Yeah, well, if you add the videos, the subscribers will come. I would recommend, if you're doing it, add a lot of short videos. So I'm just taking the skins off the sausages, as we don't need them. Just be careful you don't cut yourself when you're doing this type of thing. I mean, I'm not a chef. I just do this for fun. I'm actually a carpenter, so I like to build. Yeah, Miss Jodie, if you do cooking videos, do quick. If you look on places like TikTok, you get another idea on how. It's good just you do these quick, fast videos where it's just like the ingredients go bang, 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 bang. Share them on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and that will build up the following. Try and do things that's unusual. I was advised to do what they call reverse cooking, so stuff that makes people freak out slightly. Stuff that doesn't normally go together very well. So think of it that way. So that's my sausage in there. And I have tied up a bit as I go. I have some streaky bacon. I guess it's all under there. So I've got some streaky bacon, and unfortunately there's no easy way of doing this, but we just want to cut this down to as small as we can. You just need a very sharp knife. You're in Canada? Yeah, me too. I'm in Alberta, northern Alberta there. I'm not far away from like Jasper and Edmonton and whatnot. If your bacon's got too much fat content, try to trim off some of that fat. I mean, some of this over here is just too much, so we'll get that one. But you don't need to throw it away. You can render that one down. I don't know why some of the bacon that we get now is terrible. But you can render the bacon down, take the fat out of it, store that one and use it for cooking. Almost there. Well, for this bit, I've still got a bit more to do over here. Any more questions, anybody? Try and be clever. Enough fat. I mean, you don't have to use the bacon, but it gives it a nice flavour. You know what? That's enough bacon for now, I think. That should be plenty. Actually, I'm just going to run through. If you have a meat grinder, it's so much easier to throw it in there. I'll put that in there. Move this for the moment. Let's not waste anything. If you're just joining me, welcome to my channel. Just rinsing my hands off a little bit there. The sun is just coming up here in northern Canada, Alberta. It's just 8:15. I've been awake for a long time now, so I've got my pork Italian mild sausage. I've got some bacon in there. Got some fennel. I'm just gonna throw that fennel through. It's about 2 teaspoons. I've got garlic powder. Onion powder. Italian seasoning. Just to boost that Italian sausage a little bit. White pepper, a teaspoon. And something I don't normally use, a little bit of chilli powder. I want to warm this up a little bit. A little bit of chilli flake, just to that little sneakiness. And I have a cup or so of my Italian breadcrumb. So I'm just going to throw all that in. Now, it's good when you do this, if you think the mix isn't quite right, have a few sausages in reserve, and then you can always actually, I want to get, if you look now, after I've blitzed this, no, I might try and put this through a cloth. I know what I'll use, got an idea. Grab something out the cupboard, guys, won't be a minute. If I can find it. A good way to get the moisture out when you're cooking things like cabbage. If you're cooking stuff like cabbage and to do kind of spring roll, or you're making a gyoza dumpling, this is a good way to get the excess water. I just use a potato ricer. Make sure it's clean. If you don't have a potato ricer, then just use a clean kitchen towel. Wrap it up in there, or a piece of cheesecloth, something like that. So now I'll just close my lid on this one, and you'll see just the sheer volume of liquid that's coming out of there. Get rid of that. I mean, that was just a small piece of onion. So, see if we can get that to come out. There we go. Don't bother too much cleaning up on that one. Now, this is the fun bit, but I just can't believe 1 onion, 1 piece of celery. So 1 onion, 1 piece of celery, and half a dozen cloves of garlic, and you get that much liquid out of it. So don't throw the liquid away though, because if we're too dry, we can put a couple of spoons in there. But let's just break this up. Let's go to Liddy's channel. Yeah, I thought so. Nothing on there. I like when people have got a channel of their own and you can see what sort of stuff they like, what they do. It helps me make other videos, so I can see what people like. And I mean, if you like a particular type of food, then I know if I make that, I may get you as a returning subscriber. But if people want me to cook a certain type of food, make a request. This is starting to look good. You see, by the time we'll just keep mixing. Got that little bit. Now I'll put this soy sauce in now. It's a shame I spilled some, but that's the last of it. That's all I had. I mean, if you want to, you can add something like a HP brown sauce, a little bit of barbecue sauce, just to lift up that flavour. A little bit of balsamic vinegar, just to give it that more like an old-fashioned aged flavour of sausage. And what I think on, normally don't buy fennel powder, buy the fennel seeds, and then use yourself a coffee grinder, which I just use for my herbs and spices. So stick it in the coffee grinder, grind it up, and that's it. Everything's good. You got a nice, in here at the moment the fennel smells like aniseed. But my sausage meat is coming together nicely there. And there's some bigger pieces of the onion in there, but they will kind of break down as it's cooking. I mean, if you have a meat grinder, and then you have a sausage making machine, this is so much easier. You put it in the meat grinder, you get everything all mixed together that way, and then you do your sausage grinder, your sausage making machine, and you just bring it out into the size that you want, and then that goes straight into your sausage case by pastry. That's looking pretty decent now. I mean, I guess if you want, it's very similar. If you were making something like an old-fashioned meatloaf, kind of similar to that. But we just need to put this in the fridge for 10 minutes or so, and then we'll go from there. I'm just going to take that glove off. I'm going to open my sliding door. It's so freaking warm today. When I say warm, I mean it's warm in my apartment, not outside. Outside is minus 36. We're 36 below zero at the moment, guys, so it's a wee bit on the chilly side. You know what? I'm just going to have to put up with that cold and the warmth because it's way too cold out there to have my door open. But I'll just clean off my cutting board. It's kind of got to be a little bit there, what that guy said. One of the first comments. The first comment of the day. Will I put peanut butter on? Well, no, because I'm allergic. Second comment of the day. Yeah, that wasn't very nice. But it is what it is, I guess. People have their issues. Maybe he's got good reason. But I wish the guy well. Hopefully he has a peaceful and prosperous existence. So I am cheating slightly today. I thought I'd try 2 different brands of pastry, butterpuff pastry. So I'll see how they go. I do make my own pastry, but sometimes it's just a chore. You're just like, I can't be bothered to do this today. So with that in mind, I just thought, yeah, to heck with it. So my bacon I've got left here, that'll probably go as a sandwich later. Got a little griddle at the back there. But let's have a look at these pastries. So they're defrosted nicely. So one slightly bigger than the other. Okay, that's fine. So I think it was for future reference, the compliments one from Superstore is a little bit better. Let's give my table a wipe down here. Actually, this isn't even a table, it's a cutting board. So I just make sure there's nothing left on here that I don't need. Let's get rid of that. Whew. But it is damn warm in here. And if you live in Canada, especially if you're over like in Alberta, Saskatchewan and Manitoba area, we're experiencing a very, very cold spell at the moment. So as a result of that, we can just stick a Rubbermaid tub outside. Put a Rubbermaid tub out there. Throw your frozen gear in there. Any extra stuff you want to buy if it's on a sale, throw that in the Rubbermaid tub. Put the lid on, and we're good for the next 4 months or so. So just make sure you use it up after that point. let's have a little look at this pastry. Actually, I better get, just make sure there's nothing on there. Well, if anybody just checking in, just give me a little shout, say hello. Doesn't matter where you're from in the world, I accept absolutely everybody on this channel. I'm trying to build, so actually now I'm going to start messing around with pastry. I put a little apron on just to keep me clean there. I get these things like this sent to me by subscribers. It's quite, I think it's funny. When you're cooking, keep track of the bits that you're cutting off, so you know it's not going to accidentally end up in the food. So I'm not sure. Best way to open this out. They're certainly not as big as I thought they were going to be, that's for sure. Well, I'm a little bit disappointed, to be honest. Yeah, well, never mind. The difference in size on this one. Nice smelling pastry. Yeah, nice smelling pastry. What I like for size, both pretty much the same that way. They're actually both the same, it's just a bigger box kind of thing, really, bigger packaging. So I think I want to cut this into 3. I'm going to go get I'll get my ruler. Looks like we've got another storm coming in. Just what we need, another storm. It's handy to have a steel ruler. Doesn't need to be as big as this one. Just keep it clean. So I want to divide this into 3 equal. What we got here? We've got 10 inches. That way. 9 3/4 that way. Awesome. So, a small knife. So, an easy way to do this is a carpentry trick I learned a long time ago. So, if you're not too sure about splitting the 10 into 3 equal, you can actually turn your ruler sideways. So it's on the 12, and then you know it's 4 4 4. So it's round about there, round about there. and then lay our ruler on. Now I'm just going to give it a light score. That's that one. Now you do want to keep your pastry covered over. And we do the same again, just diagonally on a 12 and mark at the 4, and then we know we've got 3 equal pieces or so. So we'll lay that one over the top and we'll do the same with the others. It's important to keep these covered over. The pastry is getting a little bit too soft for my liking. But we have what we have and we have to deal with it. The good thing is when you're making this, hey Paul, how's it going, buddy? Nice to see you back. That's that one scored off. Yeah, I really don't like this pastry. But, like I say, work with what we got. It's very cold, I know it's minus like 36 or something, minus 32. It is warming up a little bit, but we're expecting more snow today. I'm making some sausage rolls, and then I have to go. I'm going to jump in my truck, and I've got a kind of a 4-hour drive ahead of me. I'm going to go meet some friends. I was invited along to a little party. So I'm making sausage rolls to take along as a little treat. Yeah, that's the thing with Canada, we're so big. It's one of the things that takes a little bit of getting used to. I remember when I visited many years ago, when I was I'll be like 16, 17 years old, and my friend's brother said he was going to nip out to get some grocery, but they kind of lived in the middle of nowhere, and as a result, when they nipped out to get grocery, he's gone for like 6 hours. And when I asked him why it took so long, and he's like, well, I had to get to the store, because he literally was kind of a 2-hour drive each way. Yeah, I've made my sausage meat, so I've added all sorts of bits in there. There's a bit of Worcestershire sauce. I've got some ground up fennel seed in there, so I've got the powder. There's the garlic powder, onion powder. There's lots of garlic and onions in there. I chopped up some bacon in there. So, and how are you doing anyway, Paul? Hopefully you're keeping good. Right, I think that should be long enough. Well, actually, I'll crack my eggs. Now, I got told off the other day for this. A lady said what I was doing was stupid because you're going to get egg shell in with the egg. And I tend to crack and then open. And I mean, I can do it that way too. There's still no eggshell in there. I mean, well, actually there is. Now I've done this one, there's a little bit of eggshell in there. Yep, that's it. So there was that small, tiny little bit of eggshell. Yep, nice and fresh. I mean, what I was planning on, what I thought about doing was make them here, take them, travel there, and then cook them in their house. That was my plan. But I thought, no, I'll just cook them. I'll put them in like a little foil tray, get them there, and then we can just put them in the oven and warm them up. Yeah. What do you do with eggshells, 8-Ball? Do you have any little secret hints and tips that you do with? Well, I'll give you my my secret. What I do with eggshells. I actually grind them up. I put them in a coffee grinder. I grind them up into powder and I use it to feed my plants. That's my egg wash ready. Right, I'll grab my I'm going to close that. I'm going to close this window again now. It's damn cold. Right, I'll get my sausage meat out the fridge. So, I had my sausage meat in the fridge there, so I used a mild Italian sausage. So, that's nice and cooled down now, it's a little bit firmer to work with. Now the fun bit will be making sure I don't make the dog's back leg of this. Because this pastry has gone you know what? I don't like this pastry the way it is. It's too soft. I'm going to put it on a tray and put it in the fridge for a bit as well. In fact, that'll all do. I'll stick it outside because outside is colder than my fridge. Yeah, you're lucky you're having a garden. I don't have a garden. When my relationship ended, I basically lost everything. I lost my house, I lost my business and my workshop and everything. So I live in an apartment. I got as far away as possible from that relationship. I'll just stick this outside for a bit. Just let it cool down a bit because it's getting a little bit too soft to work with. In fact, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to unclip you from my cradle and I will show you where I am. Need to keep that there. So I'll show you where I'm at. So switch that one round. So this is what it looks like where I am now at the moment. And you can see it's so cold at the moment. Even just the heat coming out of the house is making like a little mist. So, and on the horizon there, that's all ice fog, but we do have more snow coming. But like I say, it's just dank cold, bit nipply out here. Maybe if I had some hair, I would grow it, and then you'd be able to plug my phone back in so I don't lose what I'm doing. Get that back where it needs to be. Oh, I hate these phones, sometimes I don't want to work. So, this is where it's like where I'm at. Oh, it's proper snow. It's I just had a check there, it says we're 28, minus 28 now. Is that what it said there? Oh no, it's actually got colder again. So, that's our temperature at the moment. Minus 30, feels like minus 36, but I'm a nice 23 degrees inside, so that's okay. But whew, it does get a little bit chilly. The only thing I love the UK, the only thing that used to annoy me was the amount of rain that we used to get. You try and do anything and it rains. Oh, let's go and have a camping trip and it rains. You know, it's let's have a barbecue, it rains. Should we go to the beach? It rains. So it seemed to, I don't know, 300 days a year it seems to rain one way or another. But still, I love the place. It's the place I was born. Yeah, the roads are good. I have a 4-wheel drive truck. I have like a pickup truck with 4-wheel drive, but then I have winter tyres with metal studs on them, so it grips into the ice. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, we have a saying over here. Just because you got 4-wheel drive doesn't mean you can drive like a lunatic, because you don't have 4-wheel stop. Yep. And I mean, to be honest, a lot of the time as well, the way we live in, like, especially around this area, because it's not a big city, we tend to stock up. We have a pantry full of food. And I know it's not good eating canned food, but I have a big chest freezer full of frozen stuff like that I've made myself, or meat and things like that. And then I have I have a pantry with a load of tinned food and dried pasta, rice and things like that. I've probably got about 12 bags of rice, and I don't mean little bags. I don't mean little bags like this. I mean sacks. I've probably got about 12 of them, and I eat a lot of rice. I eat a lot of pasta. Not so much pasta now, unless I make it myself. But like I say, we stock up, and we get the jugs of water. We can drink our tap water; it's all fine. But if you get the jugs of water, then you know you've always got it. Yep. I mean, dried and tinned food is the way to go. And then just, if you see it if I see things on special offer, I say I'll go in and I'll see kind of like a nice dry pappardelle, and it's normally say $5 a box. But then you see it on offer for $3, so then, well, what the heck? I'll go and buy 10 boxes, and we have Costco, which is a big warehouse place, but you get bags of pancake mix like this, which I like. So you go to Costco, you see they've got a special offer on these, so you buy half a dozen, because you don't I don't go to Costco very often. It's too far away. It's like a 4-hour drive for Costco. So you just have to be careful what you're doing. Right, see, let's see how my pastry's doing now. That's better. I mean, I could literally say I'm going to go and put my pastry in the freezer and take it outside. But that's much easier to handle now. I'll just grab my... This is my pizza cutter. I just want to make sure that it's cut all the way through. Follow the lines I done earlier. Yeah, that's good. Just release it from that paper. Now, easiest way, I guess. Yep, I mean, I was saying earlier there, what we tend to do is put a Rubbermaid tub outside anyway. You have a couple of big Rubbermaid tubs, like big plastic tubs with lids, and if you see frozen food on offer, well, you might as well take advantage of it. Squeeze this out a little bit longer. Just gonna. I want these to be quite a generous sausage roll. Can't really see what I'm doing there, I guess, but we don't want no spaces and no voids. So I'll still go a little bit more. I mean, we have a lot of people live on an acreage which is basically the kind of like a farm. And these guys, they tend to grow a lot of their own food. They grow their own food in the garden, and then they have like a cold cellar storeroom area. Brush a little bit of egg along this seam. I say this is the first time I've made sausage rolls for absolutely ever. I used to make them with my mum as a child. I might have too much meat in there, actually. I do. I have too much meat. I'm getting too adventurous. Let's spread this out again. I was watching a show on YouTube about Australia, and apparently Australia have claimed the sausage roll as an Australian thing. I'm like, no, it's not. The sausage roll is definitely British. And hopefully that should be better. Definitely out of practice with this. So we'll tuck that in and just get that. Make sure it's getting in there, so we want a good ½ inch or so. Get that pastry up, move it around a bit. Get that underneath. It is fighting back a little bit, but we'll just roll it out. Make sure that seam goes on the bottom. Something like that should do. I've got a tray ready to go. I put that on my tray. for now, I'm not doing anything else with it. I'm going to continue to work with these. I'm definitely out of practice, that's for sure. Thank you, April. Let's kind of stretch this out a little bit. Might be easier actually if I just kind of put it on. I mean, I did say earlier that it would be easier with a sausage maker if you've got the proper machine. Then you can just squeeze it out into that little tube already. That would be the easiest way to do it, I think. So what you been doing today then, 8-Ball? You been working or? Big piece of onion in there, no wonder. Old school by hand, absolutely. But it's a bit of exercise. I can't really get out and do too much at the moment because of my knees. So push them together, take off our excess, get our milk ready again, our egg wash. Now see if we can roll this one better. Ah, this pastry's terrible. I don't like it. I do not like this pastry at all. Next time I'm going to make my own. I mean, I've been awake since about 4:30, it's almost 9 o'clock now, and I've not eaten yet because I'm trying to do that keto thing. I'm trying to do the ketosis. Yep, like I say, this thing with my knees, it's a little bit tiresome, but I mean, there's not a lot I can do about it, to be honest, until the surgeon says it's time. And say I can't do anything about it. Doing there. Last one. Well, it isn't actually. I've got what, another 9 to do yet. But what I can do, I don't like this paper being on here. I'm gonna try a little bit of flour. A little bit easier to work with, I think. I'll get rid of that. But it's all about learning different ideas. As the meat gets a bit warmer as well, that doesn't help. You need to keep things cool. That one on there. It's coming together. Yeah, weed's legal, but unfortunately, where I work, we get drug tested, and if we have that in our system when we're at work, I say you have to take a pee in a cup. If it shows up in your system, then you're off the job for 7 days. And they send that test away, and if it's above a certain level, you lose your job. CBD. CBD is the main one for pain. But as I say, it's not worth it. I mean, to lose a day's pay, I mean, that's like half the mortgage paid for, and it's something like that. So theoretically, what can I use? Where's my pastry scraper? This. So I need to try to get under this one just to roll it. But I do know a lot of guys that use the cannabis and whatnot just for pain management. But there's a lot of guys that just use it just for fun as well. Just give this a little roll just so it stays where I want it. I am going to cut these down into smaller sections. Oops. Yeah, this particular pastry is not that nice. I don't like it at all. Weird. Kind of strange, sticky texture. Thank you, my friend. It's taken a bit longer than I thought. They say I'm a little bit out of practice. But, off there. See, I mean, it's all horrible and sticky. Don't like it. Me no likey, as Homer Simpson would say. We kind of squeeze these out the best we can. I'm trying to be as quick as I can. The good thing is, if you have any of this left, you can freeze it and use it later. Or you can make meatball out of it. Make a nice sausage meatball. This does not want to, this pastry's horrible. Good for stuffing too, yes. I mean, if you drop some sage in there as well, that will probably be fantastic. We're getting there. Sounds like British Rail. As long as I do a better job than British Rail. Yep, pork, sage and onion. That's one of them winning combinations. Wow, this pastry is terrible. I am tempted to throw it all in the trash and start with the other pastry. As I thought I'd try 2 different brands. I definitely won't be using that one again. Yeah, I knew you meant sage. I hate that. I have what I call fat fingers. So when you try and type, or fat thumbs, you try and type it up. You do the letter next to where you mean to go, or sometimes predictive text jumps in and messes up your whole comment. Well, that one's a little bit quicker. A little bit too much in there. A little bit too much egg. And I remember my mum making these all the time. If there was a party, or they say this is not a very good quality, I don't like it, I will not use this one again. But yeah, my mum used to make a lot of like sausage rolls on a weekend. We'd have what I used to call the picnic tea, which was basically my mum would make sausage rolls, pies and cakes, things like that. Oh, this stuff is absolutely shocking. So she would make open face sandwiches and things like that. I'm just drying it out a little bit. It just seems wet and weird. As soon as I took it off the paper, it kind of shrinks. Strange. But I say it's all part of the learning. Yeah, I mean, I guess it must be that older generation. I'm thinking my mum will be kind of 80 now, if she's still been around. But yeah, she'll probably be about 80, 82 now. A different generation is kind of... I mean, they're coming together okay. But I'm going to cut these down into maybe about 1.5 inch pieces. And then when I put them in the oven. So that should, it's kind of nice little, almost like a little cocktail party size, I guess. And the table's getting very sticky now, so. But I want no voids in there, I want all filled up. Yep, bite size, that's the word I'm looking for. I tell you what, when you've got like a good nan, or a good mother, grandmother, whichever, and there can be a very, very big influence on your life. I mean, my mum would always say she didn't have the best education, but she knew how to read and write, so if she wanted to learn something, she could go and do it. And she was very smart, even-tempered in the head. Not like me, I've got a fiery temper. Well, I did when I was younger anyway. I'm too old for that type of thing now. I'll probably break myself. But my mum was always a good advice giver. She looked after the family. She was like the matriarch, as it were. That's looking good. There's another one. Clean this up a little bit. It's always handy to keep the little scraper around for doing this type of thing. Keep your work surface clean. See how this one is. Now see, this is a different brand of pastry, and it was so much easier to work with there. With me using Fennel. Yep, absolutely. Yep. It's I mean, it was my mum. It was me the death of me. The anniversary of my mum passing on the 8th of December there, and I don't know. I always find that day very difficult. I mean, I was fortunate to be there, and I mean, she lost a battle with cancer, and so I've always supported the cancer foundations after that. I mean, the people in the hospice and the cancer foundation, what an absolute awesome bunch of people. How they do that job day in and day out is beyond me. It would break my heart. But normally on the 8th, my mum was a big Doris Day fan, so I'll get the karaoke out and I'll sing Doris Day songs, and just in honour of my mum. It's just unfortunate you can't post stuff like that on YouTube. Otherwise I would do myself a live video where I'm singing. Well, that's gone a little bit loose, that one, but never mind. Push it back together, get that down. And these ones are a little bit shorter, so I'll just put that to one side for now. Like I say, it's a little bit difficult, but it's just one of them things that we have to, it happens, it's life, and there's precious little we can do to stop it and change it. Just we just need to remember the good times. That's the way I look at it. And I know my mum. I know my mum would be proud of me. She never got to see me move to Canada and realising my dream. And I never really got that opportunity to show off my cooking too much. But it was one of them things, I delved deep into the Chinese cooking and Japanese cooking when I was younger. And as a result of that, I mean, that was like my mum's favourite food was Chinese. So I used to just cook and cook and cook, and she was happy, happy, happy. But being in the UK, you've got to admit, for food, we've got a lot to choose from. We do have a lot of different foods to choose from. I mean, I love Chinese food, I love East Indian food. Oh, that's probably one of the things that'll be a bit strange for you. In Canada, the people from India we call East Indian. On account, we have Native American Indian. We can't, it's not really, it could be confused. And this one's a fat boy. Like I says, it saves confusion. And 3 more. Yeah, I should have enough. There should be just about the right amount of mix, I think. Yep, America have like the Native American, and I do believe over there that in America they also call them, like, they will say, if people from India, they will say East Indian too. But I mean, we don't call Native Americans Indians. We call them Native American, and they've had a bit of a hard trot of it as well. So, like everybody else, the white man comes in, and we kind of. I'm just remembering how to roll the fillings again. But I say, once we ruled the world, and we weren't too nice about it. But people have a hard time understanding that, even though we grew up in the UK, even us too, to a certain extent, even we were slaves to the upper classes. And try to explain that when I show them pictures of what it was like down in what was like in the coal mines, and you get young kids that were sent down into the coal mines to work. We had the poor house. We had the poor house and things like that. If people couldn't afford to live, you couldn't afford your children, you gave your children, they gave the children away, which is horrendous when you think about it. I just hope we never see them days again. Yeah, this pastry is so much better. A bit more flour. I was trying to give it a bit of a stretch there. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously I'm a slightly older generation, as it were. And I kind of, I remember like I still remember things from like Northern Ireland, the Falklands War. And in some respects, yes, we have to stand up for ourselves. But I don't know, it's tricky. What we're doing now, I don't know. I honestly don't think we are strong enough as a country to do the things that we need to do anymore. We can't even protect our own borders anymore. And it's the same over here in Canada. They say there is a lot of mistrust about things, so yeah. At the end of the day, I don't care what people say. Any wars and any conflict, if you look into it properly, there's probably something to do with money there somewhere. Money, oil. But I'm no saint. I can't make comment. I too once wore a uniform, so I've personal experience. Yeah, definitely. I think the mass immigration has spoilt the country in many ways. I think when we joined Europe, there was too many people coming in who didn't have qualification. I mean, to get into Canada now, unless you're a refugee, you have to have a professional qualification or a trade qualification. And that wasn't the case during the EU days. And it's kind of, hopefully it's better now that we've pulled out of that agreement. But it was also good for us because we could just go to Spain or anything like that if we wanted to. I say I don't know what the education system's like. I taught for a little while. I used to teach carpentry for a little while in the UK, and I'm not sure what it's like now. I don't know whether anybody really feels it anymore. And I've still got friends who teach over there, and it's kind of too political now, I guess. There's too many rules to follow. Yeah. Fighting for country. Fighting for our own personal freedoms. And to be honest, I grew up in the northeast of the country, and it's one of them things, sometimes that's the only option you've got. There's not a lot of work, so what else can you do? School meals were never good, I don't think. All we used to eat was chips, burger and chips with some baked beans or something. Or we used to sneak out and run up to the fish and chip shop and just we'd buy one bag of chips. Well, we used to get a big large bag of chips with scraps on, and then we'd chip our money together and buy a packet of smokes, and then all go smoking somewhere. Which was a silly idea, but you hang with the crowd and that's what everybody's doing, so. That's been nice talking there. It's actually, I'm on to the last one, I didn't realise. Yeah. Well. Actually, you know what I should do? Start that warming up, I should have done that earlier. I say I worked all over the UK, and I worked all around the UK, Europe and whatnot, travelled a fair bit, and it seems to be the same, every country's having the same problem, and like the mass unemployment and shortages of food and housing, and I honestly don't know how to resolve that type of thing. All I can try and do is resolve my own issues, as it were. Well, it is and it isn't for the microwave. If you think about it, they tell you not to stand too close to a microwave. So you stand here cooking and you've got your microwave on, so you're frying your brain at the same time. Clean up my table again. I mean, my house, I didn't have a microwave here. It was a small oven, like a small induction oven. So it was just handy to whilst you're working down here with stuff in. But then you just wanted to heat up a couple of slices of pizza, you would throw it in there. And the actual microwave is on another part of the kitchen out the way. Just take that off for the moment. You know what? This bit doesn't matter. I'm gonna. So one of the things that, as I said, you can do. You've got some sausage meat left over there. So you can make. I mean, if you want. If you had more of it, there you go. You just made yourself a sausage patty for breakfast. Or you can make yourself, as I was doing there, you can make yourself kebab. Just squeeze that around the kebab, around the skewer. So you can squeeze that around, make yourself some nice barbecue kebab. Yep, Scotch egg. Or what I'm going to do, basically I'm just going to pinch little pieces off. I'm going to make some little meatball. I mean, if you wanted to, you could dip these in egg. Put a bit of breadcrumb on them if you really wanted to. But I think they're great like this. And if you're doing yourself something like a nice, if you do a Chinese meatball soup, these would be ideal for that. All you need to do before you make your meatball, throw in some Chinese spices, like allspice or a nice Szechuan peppercorn. Maybe a little bit of rice wine vinegar, just throw that in there. And then make yourself some soup for them to go into. No, where I am, we're the beef capital. So steak, we've got lots of steak, pork. The only thing that's difficult to come by is lamb. We don't see a lot of sheep in this area. But we have a lot of wild meat as well, so if you want, get bison, like buffalo, elk, moose, deer, wild pig. We'll get some wild pigs. It's a different taste. And then if you want, there is like the lot of game birds, so there's lots of pheasant, duck, things like that. So that's always a good way to subsidise your diet. A lot of guys around here go hunting. So the first, while the young guys, you'll see them all. You'll see like young teenagers or even younger. They'll be on Facebook around here with the first deer, so they're holding onto the antlers, and they've just killed the first deer or the first moose. A lot of people don't realise just how big a moose is. So let's see the best way to cut these. You know what? I'm going to put them outside for a bit so they firm up. I'll let them firm up a bit, and then that should keep my. It's easier to cut. Cover. I'll just. But it is a good experience. I only go fishing now. I've never been hunting since about 2016 was the last time I went, and I've got a white-tailed deer there, like white-tailed buck. But the meat, I'm not very good with the processing part of the meat. So what I tend to do, I had a guy in the town where I was living at the time called Grand Prairie. Basically, I do the gutting part, get rid of all the nasty bits, and then you take it along to him. He will skin it. The skins are then given to the Native American people in the area, and the lady makes moccasins and gloves and things like that, but she treats all of that stuff. And then he'll cut all your meat up into all the various cuts, like different steaky bits and roasts, joints, right down to he will make you sausages, and he'll make you like smokies, pepperoni sticks, that type of thing. He makes all of that for you, and any bits that's left over, they get ground up, and you've got like ground venison. But there's a lot of the guys around here, a lot of the native guys, they won't eat deer meat. They're like moose, and they will say deer meat is for the dogs. That's all it's good for eating. So, but I don't believe it. But for me, it's tasty. So just give that 10 minutes out. That should be good. Oh. I'm turning my griddle on here, and I'm actually I've got this little bit of bacon I'm going to cook up. Outdoor freezer it is. I say I might as well use it in that sort of respect. It's there already, so why not? I mean, my freezer's usually full. I've got two. I've got one outside, one inside, and then I actually if you see the guys, like I said, if they live on an acreage, they tend to have that walkway all the way around the house. So I have a house with a big veranda all the way around, and they'll always have fridges and freezers outside. And when the winter months kick in, they put all of the frozen stuff in there, and they don't even plug them in. It gets unplugged and left. And then when the weather starts to warm up, then they plug the stuff back in again so it doesn't start to defrost. So we live different lives over here compared to in the UK. I say it takes a bit of adjustment, but I mean, a gas and electricity bill when I had a house. So gas and electricity on its own, when it gets down to minus 35, is around about $700 a month. So that's about £350. Say 300 to 350 pounds every month. So normally it would normally only be about $300, but it doubles. So you do have to. We kind of save our money. We don't overspend if we can help it. So we've always got that little nest egg, because when the winter comes along, if we get a really harsh winter, then your heating bill goes through the roof. And another thing that we do here a lot as well, if you have a house with a basement, a lot of people will actually make that basement into a little suite. Yeah, definitely different. But they'll make the basement into a suite, and then they will rent that out to somebody. So they might have a little kitchenette, a little sitting room, a bedroom, and their own bathroom down there, and then they'll rent that out, and that pretty much covers your mortgage for you. But I read this has been back 2010. There was a thing on Facebook, and it was called on Google, and it was called Things I Wish I'd Known Before Moving to Calgary, Alberta. So you actually if you ever planned on moving, do that search. If you want to move to Europe somewhere, you want to move to North America, things I wish I'd known about the town that you're moving to. Because to be honest, there's places in Canada where crime, drug abuse, homelessness and unemployment are a big problem. And then there's other towns where they don't have very much of that type of thing, and so you just don't know. Some places in Canada, when you get there, they are very much a native community, and it takes a lot of hard work for sometimes for people to trust, and because there's a lot of bad people out there, and I don't blame them, to be honest. I'll just turn this bacon over. Thinking about, I'm just going to have a nice crispy bacon sandwich. Yep, the Philippines is great. I think what I would like to do once I get to retirement age, or close to it, I'm kind of like early 50s now, so I'm thinking retire about 60, if I've got the money there, and then I'll sell my property, here. I'll buy a trailer home and move a little bit further south, closer to the airport. This is my plan. And then for 6 months a year I'll live here, 6 months a year I'll live in the Philippines. And so then that way I can have the warm weather here, the cooler weather over there. And then I don't have to worry about freezing my nanas off as I get older. But I need to wait for my pensions to kick in, so I might have to wait till I'm 65. I know there's a lot of people doing it to call them snowbirds, and they've worked hard all their life, and they've got that nice big nest egg set away there, and they have the big motorhomes and things like that. So then they just jump in the motorhome and they drive south down into the US where it's warmer. They go down to Arizona, places like that. Spend a few months there having a holiday, drive back up into Canada again. But now fuel is so much more expensive, there's a lot less people doing that type of thing. I hope I get there too. But one thing's guaranteed, I'm still going to do my cooking show from the Philippines if I get there like that. I have a little tip for you as well. If you're doing, when you're cooking bacon, if you like it really crispy, obviously use something to hold it down, but then put a little bit of water on, and then let it cook that way, and you get nice crispy bacon. So, not oil, water. So, yep. Like I said, the last time when I was there, I done a little bit of cooking, but I didn't have too much time. And I cooked up some ham, and I done a breakfast. It was like it was ham and egg fried rice, like it was Chinese style really. So, well, I'm going to grab my sausage rolls back. We'll cut them to size and get them in the oven. Oh, these trays are cold now. So, they're firmed up a lot. Now I want to try using the pastry cutter. It's shorter. Now, use a knife. Reminds me of when you're doing, if you're making sushi, you have to keep your knife clean. If they go a little bit out of shape, just kind of form the back in there again. And if you can hear the banging, that's my neighbour's upstairs. I think she has a daycare or something. Let's move these around a little bit. It's a little bit bigger. I guess it doesn't really matter, a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller. It just shows it's not made in a factory. They ain't getting none, not that one. The other neighbour can have some. Well, I used to work night shift, and I kind of had a bit of a falling out with the neighbours upstairs because I was asking them if they can be quiet while I'm on my sleep pattern, as it were. And they basically told me to go and jump in the river. So let's just say I wasn't too happy about that. I'll check my bacon before it dies on me. Yep. So I buy little bottles like this. So that one's just got plain water. Just spread a little bit of that in there. That should cook up nicely. Oh, need to get these done. Yeah. But you try to be nice. Can't please everybody. But we do have like what we would call a HOA around here, I guess. It's like we have like a renters board. So I'm kind of tempted to make a complaint, but at the same time, she's only trying to make a living, so I don't want to mess that up for her. These are getting smaller as I'm doing them. I'm gonna have to get my measurements a bit better. Right, if I cut in half, I'll try that one. Cut in half again. Well, and then cut in half again. Yeah, these are getting soft again. I have to be quick. Probably should have left them outside for a little bit longer. But I think the other tray, I might just make some bigger ones for lunch. As for what I've got here now, this is a lot. Yeah, like I say, it's all about being nice. Was it? If you can be anything in this world, be nice. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's people you meet, and no matter what you do, you're never going to please them. So sometimes it's kind of like, why should I even try? You just need to be, I think it's best to just distance yourself from some people. Now let's put them there for the moment. Get me meatballs out the way for now. Let's have a look at this one. Now, I'm going to cut this one up like I did them because it's the shorter ones. I'll just put these ones on here. Yeah, I think definitely leaving them outside probably would have helped. But I'm still learning anyway. I've been cooking for a long time now, but I'm still learning. I know it's probably wrong to say it online, but you try and be nice to some people, but some people really do just deserve a throat punch or whatever you want to call it these days. Well, I wouldn't say deserve it, but it's understandable when people get upset with some people. Now these ones, I'm thinking I'll cut them into 3. And then these can be, I can freeze these ones afterwards and then go in for lunch. So these ones can be a bigger version. So I'm thinking either tomorrow or was it Tuesday today or Wednesday? Wednesday. So either tomorrow or Friday, I'm going to make gyoza dumpling, which is a little Japanese dumpling. That the fried crispy on the bottom. What do you have with a hot dog if you're eating anything like this? Well, I feel like doing like the classic of some chips and baked beans, or some peas maybe. Pickle, yeah. I say my mum would make sausage rolls or pies and then she would serve it We get like chips. We get chips and baked beans with it, and or some peas. So, I guess it depends on which part of the country you come from. See, I come from, I'm in the northeast, or was in the northeast, as you can probably hear by the accent. I mean, I don't speak how I used to speak. My accent's changed a lot. Give it a little bit of space. Right, we'll get some egg on these. These are the bits that take too long for me. You have a very plain accent. Which part of the UK are you from? Because we both know in the UK there's a lot of different accents. You only drive 10 minutes away and people sound completely different. I would say the most common, I guess, is what people hear on TV is more like the southern, a bit of a Cockney type twist to it. But then you get the Scouse accent, and then you get like, see, Scottish and Irish. They're more easily recognisable. But then the Geordie, which is me. But I've moved around so much, my accent's not what it used to be. But if I go home and I'm at any point for a holiday, if I'm there for a few days and then I start speaking, I spend a couple of days thinking, what the hell did he just say? I don't understand my own accent anymore. And by the time I come back here, people are looking at me like, what language is he even speaking? But I will say one thing, when you come here, the ladies like the accent. Geordie, if I speak, they say if I start that I won't stop. But you start with the "why aye man, where you going?" And it's like I have to stop myself sometimes. I'll read, pet. But I say with me working around and travelling around, I pick accents up really quick, and obviously I had Irish, there's Irish and Scottish in my family, so there's times I can't help it, I'll start speaking with a Scottish accent, and it confuses the hell out of people here because they expect me to speak a certain way now. But then if I have too much, if I was drinking whiskey, and then for some reason I turn more Scottish. If I drink Newcastle brown ale, I turn more Geordie. And then Birmingham, yep. I can't do like this. Like Birmingham. I remember the accent. I just can't remember a lot of phrases or anything like that. But then we get even more complicated because then you get people who are Indian, or you get people from Europe who live in there, and they have different accents all over. And one of the most bizarre things I've ever encountered, and I didn't expect it. I was working in Glasgow, and I walked into the newsagents on the corner, and there's a East Indian guy stood there with a turban on and everything. And yep, Scottish blood. But I say, bearing in mind I'm in the middle of Glasgow with a big 6 foot plus East Indian guy with a turban on. I'm expecting an Indian accent, and what did I get? He had a broad Scottish accent, and it was probably like, hey, what can I get for you, laddie? And I was like, huh? What the heck? So that one kind of threw me. So I'll put them in the oven now, 350 Fahrenheit for 30 minutes, and then I will check them at that time. I want the meat to cook, but I don't want the pastry to overcook. So I'll keep it a little bit lower, and we'll see how we do with that one. But I say you're working with, you go, obviously, uniform life. Down the south of the country, you go into Suffolk, and it does sometimes seem like, yeah, but it's like, what, like you buy gum type stuff? Or you go across the other side, you get like a Scouse accent where they seem to talk from the back of the throat. And what was the other one there? Like, I had friends who, when I was a kid, his grandparents lived in Rotherham, and the way they spoke was completely different again. And she was like, going down to shop, and I'm like, what's the tit bit? I didn't know what the tit was. Yeah, it just shows how many times we've been invaded, and then instead of them conquering us, we just assimilate them. We'll just bring them in and they stay there. Oh, that's my coffee done. I'll put my flour away now. I guess I should start cleaning up a bit, really. This is the bit I don't like, the cleaning up. But I say this is taking a lot longer than I normally would do it. Oh yeah, I've been on for 2 hours now. Oops. Get that bacon off there. I forgot about my bacon, so now my bacon is very crispy. So there's my bacon now. That's very crispy now. I'm just going to let that kind of drain off some of that oil. Yeah, well, I say it's 30 minutes. I'm gonna keep on going until these have come out. I can't abandon you guys with and not show you what the end result was like. But I say it's going to be 30 minutes yet, so if you need to do anything else, you can do so and call back in again. And if not, you can stick around. I'm going to start cleaning up. I've been a bad boy. I didn't clean up last night. I washed all my dishes, but then I didn't put them away. I think sometimes I just get to that point where I've been cooking most of the day, and then I kind of have a cursory clean up, and then I'm looking, I'm like, I just want to go and rest and sit down. I've had enough of this. So just hopefully, I cheated a little bit by using a store-bought pastry. I don't think I'll make that mistake again. I'll close that before I take the head off. But like I say, I've got that 4-hour drive. I want to get there for 6. So as long as I set off for between 1 and 2, I should be good. Depending on what the snow's like, it said it's snowing where they are, so I guess I'll find out. But I really don't want to be turning back. I want to I've got too much stuff in the house. But no, I really don't want to be turning back or getting bogged down in a storm or anything like that. That's another thing. In the winter around here we tend to travel. I usually put a heavyweight winter sleeping bag in the car, in my truck. I take some of them little paraffin blocks and a little heater, so that if you break down or anything like that, you're covered. You're not getting left stuck in the middle of nowhere. Because it does happen a lot around here. There has been people who have they get stuck out in the middle of nowhere when they go hunting and stuff. And so you need to make sure I have a nice tub. I put water. I have water in there. I have a little plug-in. It's like a small. If you can see that or not? Yeah, you'll be able to. There's like a little white tub. It's like a miniature. It's like a little miniature crock pot. So you can actually plug that into the cigarette lighter, and you can heat up food in there if you need to. So it's a good way just to keep yourself right. But you just never know. You just never know what's around the corner. Yeah, the fun bit washing up. There's actually not that much stuff to wash up really. So when the better weather comes, once it comes back again, I have a Blackstone griddle, so I do a lot of cooking outside. Hey Victor! Hey, I'm not that old. I just feel it. I'm just making some sausage rolls today. You missed all of the good bits. So thanks for joining me, buddy. I was laughing earlier. I don't know whether you saw that one, 8-ball. I know you weren't on there, Victor, but I had, before I put my apron on, I have a couple of these t-shirts, and obviously this one's straight out of the kitchen, but I had the proper one on straight out of Compton, and a guy there, he said straight out of KKK. He was like, he said you're straight out of KKK. I'm like, okay, so I've got a short haircut and I've got a handlebar moustache. I normally have a beard. But I was quite insulted. I've never been racist in my life. You know, so I just thought, I make these myself. I got one of them cricket machines. Made my own little t-shirts just for fun. But I have another guy, a subscriber, is it George? I don't know if it's George. He makes t-shirts for me. So, yep. I'm not from the hood. It's much worse where we come from in the northeast of England. We just... I don't have the hood. I just have Geordies. Yeah, like I said, I thought it was more humorous than anything else. I could suggest them 3 letters, but each to their own. Who cares, baby? I think I'm gonna marry you. Oh, I must be getting happy again. It's singing time. Yeah, when I worked down in London, there for a while there, I got to know a few, well, I'm going to call them barra boys, as it were. There was a few like Rastafarian guys, and what an awesome group of guys. Music's fantastic. Just the culture and everything was like great, just to be around these guys, just to see something different. But they used to laugh at me because I used to sing Bob Marley songs, and I'm trying to sing Bob Marley songs with a Bob Marley accent. I'd turn up there and they'd have music playing and I'd be singing along, but I'd be like, oh pirate, yes sir, rabbi, sell us to the merchant ship. And like, oh, this white guy sounds like Bob Marley. Like I say, it was just a good bit of fun. Yeah, I like to sing. Both of my parents, many years ago now, they both used to sing. They travel around the country, doing different like shows and parties and things like that. That's how my mum and dad met. My mum used to do Doris Day, my dad used to do Nat King Cole stuff. So I mean, us, a lot of the time we would be doing, what's the word I'm looking for? We'd have our little Christmas sit down. It'd be like, my sister was very good on the piano. I used to play the guitar a little bit, not very well. But we all used to sing. And there was like me, my two sisters, and my mum and dad. Sometimes aunties and uncles would turn up, and we'd all have a nice sing song. It was a good time. We didn't have a lot of money. We were pretty poor growing up. And I know it's the same old story, boo hoo hoo, but it's the way it was back in the 70s and the 80s. There wasn't a lot of work out there. A small pan. Now I'm just going to cook these meatballs up now so they don't go bad. Yep, a nice family sing song is good. But the other night I was at a couple of friends there, and I was singing UB40 songs on the karaoke. I was singing like Red Wine and Kingston Town, sang them too, and then I done the Eagles' Lying Eyes. And one of the ladies got upset because she thought I was singing about her, because she'd actually been a cheater. So I'm like, oh, you can't please everybody. But I think UB40 now, and I'm like, dear rat in the kitchen, what am I gonna do? Dear rat in the kitchen, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna feast that rat, that's what I'm gonna do. But I'm trying to think now. A lot of the music we used to do was like kind of more old style music. But I try and sing some of the stuff. And I don't know. I don't know if my tongue's too big or what. But I can't sing fast enough sometimes. It's the best way I can kind of phrase that one. Do you sing 8-ball? Mind you, I'm just looking at my picture there. I'm just looking on video. I guess bald head, handlebar moustache, blonde. I wouldn't want to hear it. Okay. Tattoos. I guess I kind of do look a little bit like that, what was mentioned. Well, you see, when it comes to singing, I think it's one of them things. I jokingly said before that it's not that people can't sing, it's just that people can't listen properly. It's just that people can't actually listen, that's all it is. But I mean, I tried playing guitar, piano, drums, bugle when I was a kid in the cadets. Played the snare drum and the bugle in the cadets, and I was never good at any of them, never really good at any of them. But it's fun kind of trying. But I done some karaoke, and I done it online. On my live there, I was just singing away on karaoke. A while back then, I had to take the videos down because they give me a copyright ban. And I'm like, dang it, really? I'm just trying to do stuff that make people a little bit more interested. So let's put these meatballs in. I will give everything. I do sometimes I can't remember the words as well, so that doesn't help. In Kingston Town, the place I long to be, I will give every. No. If I had everything, I would give it away, just to see the girl of my dreams. Yeah, if I was a king, surely I would need a queen. Well, I guess it's going to be a quick impromptu lunch. I have no idea what I'm doing, I'm just making it up as I go along. Yep, music is a wonderful thing. I mean, don't get me wrong, I listen to Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Iron Maiden. I was friendly for a little while with the guitarist from Iron Maiden, Yannick Gers. I used to go in Hartlepool, they used to go to the bar there. Actually, that's probably enough tomato. Used to go to the Park Hotel, and nobody knew that this guy was part of Iron Maiden. And Yannick, he's a little bit wild on stage, but he's a super nice guy. These balls are coming on nicely there. Get that onion cooking through. Gonna have a bit of garlic left here. Yeah. They say I think when I was a kid I was one of them, the kid that wanted to be I wanted to be a guitarist in a rock band. I wanted to be Billy Idol's guitarist. That was my little crazy dream. I've been doing it for a while. I used to be a lot faster, but I've got arthritis in my fingers now. But you keep doing what you can do. And to be honest, it's a good knife. Have a good sharp knife. I sharpen them a lot. If you keep one of these handy. This is a diamond sharpening stone, sharpening steel, but always before you start, usually every time you're doing a lot of cutting. Now I've seen people doing it this way, but it doesn't really matter. I feel safer this way. And the one way to test it is, obviously once you've done it, wipe it off on a cloth. You will see if you're checking, if you've got a black mark in there, you're okay. But if your knife will easily cut the tomato through the skin without much pressure, you know you've got a decently sharp knife. Maybe that needs to be one of my next live videos. I've done it previously, but I will do I'll do another one about sharpening again. I think that'll be a good video to do. And one of the things, I've been working on it a while. Now, so I have this knife here. Now this is if I can pronounce it properly, Kurai-dori. Kurai-dori. It's a Japanese made chef knife. Now I gave it to a supposedly professional guy to get a kitchen sharp. I should have just done it myself. Because when I try and cut with this now, when you look down it, I can see it on the light here, but the actual grinding surface here is different from here. So when the guy's done it, he's got it wrong. So when I'm trying to cut, it always wants to do this as I'm cutting, and he's messed up my good knife. So I really need to have a little session where I'll grind it off and grind it off again, get it nice. I mean, it is quite sharp, but not as sharp as it should be. You should be able to shave if you, and I'm not shaving this, just kind of dragging on the skin. But it'd be nice to do a nice video. A little bit of pepper in there. I just want them tomatoes to break down. Actually, to do that, if you use salt, the tomatoes break down. You don't need much. Obviously, you don't want it to be too salty. And you can even cheat as well. You put a little bit of ketchup in there. Yep, I say it's not a good knife now. This one I can shave with when I sharpen it correctly. But she be what she be. 3 minutes left. Let's see how we're looking here. Oh, yeah, I can't see. Too steep. Well, they're looking good for now. Hopefully they'll brown up in that time. But I said 30 minutes, it could be 35. And sometimes, to be honest, look at my recipes. I've got 2 recipes and I've kind of combined the 2 here. So one of them I'm saying 30, the other one when I've done them before, it was 35. So take your pick really, I guess. It depends, like I say, I've said before, it depends on the altitude, it depends on the moisture in the air, the moisture in the food. There's a million and one reasons why things work and sometimes don't. So sometimes It's also your machine. It's it depends on the stove. Just because it says it's 350 doesn't mean to say it really is 350. Yep, like the Yorkshire pudding thing I was saying. Yep, absolutely. I might have a try of that, you know, sometime soon. When I come back, we'll have a try. I mean, I found the other day, I was going through my little pantry, and I found some things which I'm not entirely sure why, but I have them. I think I got fed up and tried to do my own. A packet of Yorkshire pudding mix and a packet of, what do you call these again? Dumpling, that's the one. Like a British dumpling mix. And to be honest, they're so easy to make. I don't know why I bought packets. But I guess it's one of them things handy to have in the cupboard, just in case. But I think at the time when I bought them, I wasn't doing any sort of like cooking like this. I was doing the basic cooking for the family. Well, I just want to, I'll be so embarrassed to come online and say, right then, this is Mike's Kitchen Cooking Channel. We're going to make Yorkshire pudding, and then we end up with hockey pucks. It's like, I'm like, ah. But I guess if I turn around first and say, this might not work because I've had no luck so far, I kind of cover the bases a little bit. But like I say, it's just embarrassing more than anything else. Okay, I hear you. Turn it off for now. Put that on straight away again so I don't lose heat. Oh, they're not looking bad. They're not looking bad at all, to be honest. They just need a little bit more colour. A little bit more colour on them should be good. Well, that's what I was thinking. I'll try that, the combination, and I'll try the traditional idea of the 3-cup rule, or 3 glass, whichever way you want to call it. And then I will do the, and then I'll try, I found a recipe online that says high altitude Yorkshire pudding. So we'll put these back in. Let's get a little bit more colour on them. Turn itself off. Thanks. So we'll just give them another couple of minutes. They're certainly looking good. Maybe that pastry wasn't so bad after all. It might redeem itself now. So, do you like my apron? That was sent to me by one of my subscribers. Fair to fake. I have to put that timer on again. Then we'll give them that. We'll give them 5. I'll just keep an eye on it. Well, damn it. Well, I'm glad that had nothing in it. See, this knife that I have is it's a proper Japanese knife. That was from a visit. I went to Tokyo a few years ago, brought that one back with me. But I made the mistake when I got it. This one, it's only sharp on, it's flat on one side, completely flat, and then it's ground on this side. And it's a sushi knife. It's meant for chopping, like slicing sushi. But it was a bit of a pain in the backside, so I've actually put my own grind on this side, a very small one, just so I can get a nice sharp edge. I found that because it's flat on one side, sometimes it wants to cut in. So you will cut into your fingers if you're not careful. Now I've done that, it's great. I keep this one sharp, sharp, sharp. And that's good for, that's why I was cutting the bacon with that one. get that wee bit of colour on there. See, I just wish I could share food with you guys. I really wish I could share the food. I was watching Uncle Roger this morning, and he was doing a commentary about Gordon Ramsay cooking. I can't remember what it was he was cooking now. It wasn't a fried rice one, it was something else. Oh, he's cooking steak, and that was it. But he was doing, obviously Gordon was doing a good steak there, and so then but Uncle Roger's sitting there going, good, good, good. Now I'm hungry. I'm watching, and now I'm hungry. So, and I think it is that thing. But I mean, even if we could have, I jokingly call it smelly vision, so you could actually smell what it is I'm cooking. And the smell in here at the moment is absolutely phenomenal, to be honest. They're coming on nice now. Come on. I want it now. I'm grabbing another drink of water. Or should I be naughty? I don't drink much pop. I don't drink that much fizzy stuff, but the occasional diet Pepsi. And that, I'm still undecided which is worse for me, the diet Pepsi. Yeah, taste vision, that works. I don't know which is worse for me, the diet Pepsi or regular Pepsi. I'm not too sure yet, but it's just nice to have a cold fizzy drink sometimes. I mean, they done one division, didn't they? So why can't I have smelly vision or taste vision? Oh, I think we'll call them ones done. Yep, let's turn that off. That'll do. Nice, a light golden brown. That's beautiful. These ones I'll leave in for another couple of minutes because they are they're a little bit lower down in the oven. But they are looking fantabulous. Now, did the stick? No. Oh, nice. A lot of oil coming out of that, well, a lot of butter coming out of that pastry. I think it'd be worth, because of the oil on there, it'd be worth me lifting these off as soon as I can and putting them straight onto here. Let them cool down. Ow, ow, ow. Ouchie. I think something like that should do the trick. There's nothing worse than if you leave them and then the pastry goes all soggy on the bottom. I don't like that. Just need to be careful not to burn myself. A couple of months ago there, I was taking this big tray out and I don't know, I caught myself on the arm here. So I had a big burn. So yeah, I think it's one of them, it's definitely a chef thing. A couple of chefs I know, they've got burns all over their arms. Well, but these are definitely looking the part right now, I tell you. Can't wait to cool down so I can try one. really small one there. I'll keep that one for the taste test. Maybe I need a bigger rack. My mum wanted me to. She wanted me to be a chef. She knew I cooked a lot. But to be honest, I liked being a carpenter. My grandfather was a carpenter. And this is going to sound wrong, but I like playing with wood. I loved making things when I was a kid. But I think I'll have been about 8 years old when my grandfather passed away. But in that time, he'd already showed me how to do little bits. And we made a fishing rod together. That's looking good now. And there's my bigger ones. So we'd actually made a fishing rod. With split bamboo. Hey, done. Split bamboo and resin and cotton binding everything together. It was I mean, it's maybe one of them things I should do again. These ones were a little bit easier to handle, but they're all looking pretty decent as far as I can see. Thank you, people. Much appreciated. Well, that's absolutely fantastic, even if I do say so myself. Need to get rid of this one now. I'll put it back in the oven out the way. I don't want to burn myself. Right, where's my other little racks? A couple of small ones there, hopefully that's enough space. Thanks, buddy. Well, you're so far away I couldn't even say I'll call in on the way. I'll call in on the way and drop you a couple off. So we'll just let them cool down now. Oh, they're good. I think I should have added a little bit more salt, but we'll call these the healthy ones. Yeah, they're terrible. I'm just going to throw them all in the trash right now. Nope, they're nice, but I think, actually no, the flavour's coming through now. Actually, they're good. Yep. Sorry, no, they're good. I can't tell you they're nasty. But we'll just leave them to cool down. And now, so I can kind of call it a day now and go get cleaned up in here, go and have a shower, pack an overnight bag and get myself on the road, I guess. But thank you for sticking around there, people. Much appreciated. It's actually I'll add you as a moderator. I meant to do it before. As a moderator, you can. I mean, I know you don't have nothing on here, but you can. Other people that come on, other people that come in, you can actually look at their channels. You can just click on their name on your phone, and that will. You can check out their channel and subscribe to them, support them if they're any good. But it also gives you the right, if somebody comes on here and they're being disrespectful and I don't see it, if they're being, I know a friend of mine that Griselda Life and Adventure, she sometimes has guys coming on there being a little bit wanting to see various parts of the body, and I just go in, you can click on their name, you can silence them, you can kick them off the channel for a couple of hours. You know, so it gives you some little rights, as it were. But let's say you just get some people that just, well, like say, like the guy earlier. Like the guy earlier on there saying, basically saying about the way I look, I must be a member of a certain group of people. But some people have their own ideas in the world. Anyway, so I'm going to shut this down now. So you take care, my friend, and I'll be back in a couple of days. Let's say I want to do the gyoza dumpling. Now the filling is, funnily enough, is very similar to this. The only difference being I put white cabbage in there, so it lightens it up. There's a little bit more vegetable to it. There's carrot, cabbage, a lot more onion, a lot more garlic, and then I make a nice chili vinegar and soy sauce dipping sauce. So, yep, you're very welcome, my friend. Like I say, I really love the support. And as I said on my title here, I don't know if you look on the, I think it's a more bit. I wrote on, so if you look on the actual description for the channel, I've got the full list of ingredients that go into these. And then I've actually written on, if it's your first time visiting my channel, please smash the like button and leave me a comment. For my returning subscribers, I love you guys. You are awesome. Thank you for your continued support. So, that's you, buddy. I say you've been really good there, dropping in all the time. I just wish it would be more people would come along. I've got so much to share. I would want to share my ideas, but it would just be nice if more people would come along. But it'll happen eventually. It will come along. At least I hope it will. Cheers, bud. Thanks very much. And I'm going to shut this one down. You take care, my friend. Stay safe. Stay hungry. Yep. Yeah, it'll come eventually. I mean, it's taken me 1.5 years to get to this point. And I know some people, they can do it overnight. They seem to have 1 million subscribers overnight. But they reckon if you look on the YouTube standards and you read about it, it can take anywhere from 2 to 4 years before you build up properly. So, but like I say, any support I get, I really, really appreciate it. And I can't fault people for giving me the help that they do. But thanks, brother. You take care. And I will catch you on the next one.